everyone. Great afternoon. Welcome to season 2 of Brewing Live. Now, filling your digital cup with great stuff that matters, brought to you by Cup Coffee Republic, the home of certified life coaches here in the Philippines and now going global. So, our physical space is located inside PC or Pioneer Center along Pioneer Road, corner Brixton and United Streets, Capitolio, Pasig City. So it is where I am presently located, and this is the library area of Cup Coffee Republic. So Cup Coffee Republic is open daily from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for dine-in, pick-up, and delivery of your premium drinks and nutritious food. Plant-based meal is also available to help keep you fit and healthy, especially during this time of pandemic. So for coaching services, just connect with Coach Rizal through 0917-586-1661 any time of the day and any day of the week. So we offer also coaching services on demand 24 by 7. So Brewing Live Season 2 is another 31-day exploration journey that aims to fill your digital cup with great stuff that matters. So our heart is to serve the community and ignite your space with opportunities for impact, income, and influence. So this project is in partnership with Coach A Coaching Club, the premier club for coaches and entrepreneurs. And our mission as club members is to create massive impact by turning our talents into income and influencing the people in our chosen domain territory through the platform of life coaching. So please connect with Coach Rizal through 0917-586-1661 to know more about how you can be part of Coach A Coaching Club and benefit from the learning opportunity with Master Coach A. So thank you for joining me today for lunch. So it's 12 noon. If you're having your lunch, go ahead and please do it. And please do tag a friend in the comment below and share this link to your timeline and FB groups and pages so that we can reach more people and help transform lives. So we are on episode 27. And for today's episode, I will share with you my topic, Gracefully Broken. Ayan. So for our viewers, hello, hello, great evening. Enjoy your lunch while you're joining me. May nakita akong Facebook user, so I don't know kung sino siya, but hello. Ayan. So we also have Coach Ed and Coach Jade. Hello, Coach Jade. Great afternoon. So this is a topic that is very dear to me, and again, it's a topic that stems from my journey of being broken. And through the brokenness, I encountered God, and I saw how my brokenness is really a grace from God. And I really want to share with you the lessons that I've learned through this journey of mine. And before I proceed, no, the last month on the season 1 of Cup Brewing Live, I shared with you the journey, a journey or the relationship that begins with the self. So it's paano ba sabihin to? It's a journey, ayan. It's a journey from where I started, and it's actually technically all about self love and what you encounter during the process of self love. Okay. So yes, gracefully broken, kakaiba siya because in brokenness, usually we see brokenness in a very negative light. But here, I invite you to unlearn what you have and to just be present in this moment and just allow yourself to really open up and absorb this talk through your heart. And so there. So again, I invite you to be intentional in getting your pack my bag moment. So these are moments or key points, aha moments, words, sharing, lessons that resonated with you. These are things that speaks to your heart, and for others, it pinches their heart, or you feel that there's something, alam mo, kumirot sa puso mo. And these are usually the powerful realizations, the aha moments, the epiphany. So when you get this, usually you say, I'm done, I got what I paid for, I can leave. Alam mo yun, pwede na akong umalis, pwede na akong pwede ko nang hindi tapusin yung talk. But please, again, I'm just starting, so please do not leave. And I encourage you to finish this episode. So you can also put in the comments below if you want to put a context, so people will know where your pack your bag moment came from. You can also put hashtag BCup Brewing Live. So again, I encourage you to share your pack your bag moment or pack my bag moment in your timeline, so you get to be a blessing for other people, especially for those who needs to hear and see your aha moments. And if you want, you can also post the link of this YouTube, this Facebook video in your timeline along with the aha moment, so that when your friends or someone sees your aha moments and they want to also learn from it, they can just watch the replay. So in that way, you become a blessing for others as well. So in the last episode, this is where I ended. Gracefully broken. I shared the story of a little girl, and eventually, through the process, she saw that her pain, her brokenness, the way she valued herself through her relationships, is not the way, but the only way is really to begin a relationship with the self. And eventually that self, when you begin to encounter yourself, you begin to encounter your creator, which is God. And from there, ito yung ending niya, it's gracefully broken. So from the story of the trials, the brokenness, the dysfunctionality of the family and everything, in the end, it's not the end, because it's an ongoing process. But eventually she found that she is gracefully broken. O, di ba? Ang saya-saya. Ako po yan, yes. So hello, good afternoon. I am Coach Candy. So in case you're meeting me for the first time, I am Coach Candy, a professional certified life coach with coaching focused on self-love. So I help people um who are emotionally wounded to be empowered to live a life of limitless possibility after the trauma, because usually after painful events, after painful traumas, they they see that life is impossible, their dreams are impossible. But here, through coaching, it's really seeing yourself for who you are, your worth, your identity. And eventually, when you see this, when you get to value yourself, when you get to love yourself, you will suddenly just open doors towards limitless possibilities and dreams that you seem akala mo hindi mo kaya at matatanaw, it will just become possible through the process of life coaching. So I'm a certified life coach by the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneurs based in Dallas, Texas, USA, and I am a mental wellness advocate. So for this afternoon, give permission to yourself to be yourself. And when I talk about being your true self, it's really being true to the core of your being. It's not. I invite you to go beyond the cerebral mind, or the mind, no, and really um, allow your heart to open up, allow your heart to be in its own space. And this moment is just for you, just 30 to 45 minutes of your time. Just give this time for yourself and invite you to honor yourself. Honor your heart, honor what your and listen to what your heart is speaking, and allow your heart to beat. Allow yourself to listen to your heart. And with that, I want to begin with asking you a question. What is the state of your heart right now? Yes, so we all have dreams, but in the process of growing up, we stumble, we get hurt, we make mistakes. Even if we don't, some people hurt us, and at some point in our life, we are stretched and we break. So let me ask you right now, if you can put your right hand on your left, or on your heart, and really feel your heart beating, and really ask your heart, how are you right now? What is your state? So, do you feel like your heart is breaking or is broken, and you're feeling or you're breathing, you're going through life breathing, but in deep inside your heart, you are broken, you are torn to pieces? Or are you in a season of your life that you feel that your heart is slowly shattering piece by piece? And somehow you want to stop the pain, you want to stop the feeling of the shattering, but it slowly eats you, and it somehow it feels like it's slowly breaking you piece by piece until you eventually disappear and you feel that you're no longer there. You do not know yourself anymore. Or you have this kind of heart, a heart that's dry, a heart that has bled so much, and it has all its cracks. It has run dry, and you need something to revive that heart, to bring life to that dryness of your heart. Or it might be that your heart is wounded and you want to really heal badly from it, and you do everything that you can, everything or anything that you see, just to bind up those wounds. Yeah. Or probably you're in a season of your life where the relationships in your life just doesn't work, and you go into separation, be it in friends, family, work, whatever it is. You feel, even this can be your dreams, you feel that it's been shattered to pieces and broken. Or is this your heart? Someone you trust betrayed you, neglected you, and you feel as if an arrow just pierced your heart and caused your heart to break. Or probably this is you staring at your heart with all the dryness there is. You still want to continue to the journey of life. You still want to continue to breathe. You want to continue to give love. You want to hope and believe in people, but you've encountered so much pain that you ask yourself, should I continue on in this journey? Should I continue to love? Should I continue to give? This can also be your heart. A heart that is frozen because of the brokenness that you have encountered, you have faced, you choose to be frozen. The heart is there, but it doesn't really connect, or it cannot feel what others are feeling. Or is this your heart that when you keep on giving, you feel that people keep on pounding you, squeezing you, and they keep on, alam yun, the feeling of iniisahan ka, the feeling of sumusobra na, that eventually, no matter how much you love them and how much you give, because they just keep on taking and not value you, you slowly see that they are breaking your heart. Where is this, your heart? Frozen, but apart from frozen, you feel that your heart is drowning. With the heart, with the state of your heart, it involves with the shattering of the heart, the emotion, with betrayal, with the trust. We tend to isolate because of the pain, because of the hurt. We tend to drown in our emotions. And yes, it's normal thing to cry. We tend to cry, be it in our own room with other people. You cry, and you feel as if no one can understand you. And with the feeling of no one can understand you, You feel that the whole world has turned its back against you, and there's nothing left but for you to also turn your back to the world, to the people that you love, to the people that you cherish. But if you see that girl, somehow that girl is looking behind her shoulder, hoping that there will be someone who will reach out to her or to him, and they will make sense of their brokenness, of what had happened. And then eventually, when this goes on, you eventually find yourself empty and whole. When you say empty and you have a hole inside of your heart. And probably this hole can be even asking yourself, who am I? What's my identity? And in moments like this, where you feel shattered the most, when you feel that you're giving up, when you feel so alone, when you feel that you don't know who you are anymore, I invite you to look into this, that in your brokenness, in the shatteredness, you are gracefully broken. So, what is grace? So, grace, as defined, this is from Merriam-Webster Dictionary. So, this is the definition of grace. But I really want to focus on things that when we talk about grace, we also know it. We also, what comes to mind is always Jesus. It's always God, His saving grace, His mercy. But it's a very good opportunity to really right now look at what really is the meaning of grace. So grace is unmerited divine assistance given to humans for their regeneration or sanctification. So I'm looking here because the present is here, okay? And it's also a disposition to or an act of instance of kindness, courtesy, or clemency. So if you really think about it, grace is something that we say usually is something that we do not deserve, but it was given to us. And it's an act of kindness that we, like I said, we do not deserve. But interesting enough, there's another meaning that in grace, it's a charming or attractive trait or characteristic. Or it's a pleasing appearance or effect, or it's a charm. And when you connect this to brokenness, later we will connect this to brokenness, and I'll give you some questions that you may want to ponder on. But if you really look at this, grace is really something that we do not deserve. And when we receive grace towards the last definition, it's a very attractive trait or characteristic. It is something that is pleasing, that somehow for me, I resonate this with kindness. So now let's look at the brokenness and then later let's combine the meaning. So when you talk about being broken, there's so many description in the dictionary, but I really want to take a look into this: damaged or altered by, or as if breaking, not working properly, discontinued, interrupted, and disrupted by change, made weak or infirm, and cut off, disconnected, not complete or full. So when we connect this with grace, and when we put this in a statement, when we talk about gracefully broken, usually in the process of being broken, you really ask, I mean, let's be honest, you really ask God, uh, ask God, why me? Why did this happen? You have all the question there is towards God. But have you ever but have you ever wondered, or have you ever given a time to listen to really what is God's response? Or we just keep on bubbling and we just keep on continuing and we just keep on ranting because of all the pain. But have you truly ever saw that in our brokenness we are we are already in a process that is not working, and we keep on pushing it, that in the that in the process of our life, change is needed, disruption is needed. Have you ever considered that in your brokenness you have been cut off? You have been cut off from something that is not yours, for something that, alam mo yung pin-push lang natin, pinagpipilit natin. And have you ever thought of your brokenness as something that it's broken because it is not yet complete? And it is by grace. It is by the unmerited. It is by grace. It is out of God's character and kindness that He protected you, that He disconnected you from things that will break you, that will continue to break you, from things that will not work in the long run. And He divinely intervened. Yes. So let me ask you with that, what can you think is the divine assistance given to you for your regeneration? So I invite you to really look back, or look, if you're in the present moment, you're experiencing brokenness, I invite you to look into that brokenness. Whatever area in your life, go ahead and ask yourself, what can you think is the divine assistance given to you in this area for you to regenerate? Second, what is the act of kindness in your brokenness? Oftentimes, we always just focus on the pain, on the brokenness, but we fail to see that God is a benevolent God, that God is a good God, that the character of God does not really hurt, but God saves. So in the brokenness, what is that kindness that God is showing you? And in areas that you have been cut off, disconnected, what have you been saved from? Because God is a parent, and a parent's heart is whenever they see that their child is doing something that is detrimental to them, the parent will tend to really intervene, to go into the picture and pull pull their sons or daughters out. And I remember Master Coach A sharing about Jesus as the shepherd. I think the picture of may lamb sa neck. And it really marked on me when I attended that coaching for the soul with Master Coach A, because it gave me a good picture of how God's love is. That He is the shepherd and we are the sheep. And alam mo yun, we have our own ways. We want to, alam mo yung paglaban natin yung sarili natin, pinaglalaban yung gusto natin sa buhay. And we want it our way. We want it within our control. And eventually, the rod is there. Alam mo yung ginaganon to, para yung sheep hindi mag-astray, binabalik sa daan. Oftentimes, God uses the rods with us, but we are not sensitive enough, or we do not even pause and try to hear what He is trying to tell us. And when time comes that the sheep is really far away and can lead to danger, kasi nga, di ba, takbo ng takbo. So what God will do, or what the shepherd will do, is they will break the leg of the sheep. Sakit nun, di ba? Aray, ayun. They will break the leg of the sheep, and eventually, it doesn't stop there. He will put it on the sheep on his neck and carry the sheep, and eventually will bind up the sheep's wound. Matigas kasi ulo. Takbo ng takbo. Sino po dito yung guilty? Nakaka-relate? Hashtag relate. Don't worry. I'm also in this process. Madalas po ako tumatakbo. I keep on running away, and oftentimes I really experience this process with God, no? Yeah. And so really look into that area of your life and ask yourself these 3 questions. So you can screenshot this. You can message me after this video. to share with me your answer. Now, I would also like to share with you what brokenness teaches us. First, your brokenness teaches us your worth, and it allows us to get back towards ourselves, self-worth. That in the brokenness of the relationship and brokenness of life, what is your worth? Second, your values as a person. Aside from the worth, also your values. Your values, when I talk about values, it's always about the core values of a person, because the core values is the core of the being. Kumbaga, it's the core, it's the center. I mean, aside from God being in the center, the values is the ones that operates in the heart. And really like this quote that it says that if you don't stick to your values when they're being tested, they're not values, they're hobbies. And how many times in life we feel broken because we have not stand on our values. That we picture love and caring for other people as bending our own values for them. So that's not how really values work. And that's not how, in the journey, I realized that that's not how love is. Love is really being able to stand for your values and respect other people's values as well. And it shows us inner strength. So you always have to remember that in brokenness, you are broken because there's something that is in you that is needed to be emerged. And in your brokenness, you have to remember that you are strong when you are weak, because it is when we fall onto our knees, unable to take another step, that we are strongest in Christ. Your inner strength really comes from God. How many times or have you experienced a season in your life that you felt, alam mo yun, hindi mo na kaya, you can no longer take it, and you say, Lord, bahala ka na. And it's during those moments that we surrender that suddenly things miraculously works out for its best. That's where we draw our inner strength. Our inner strength is from Christ. And it only begins to emerge when we really humbly fall down onto our knees and really surrender to God. Next is connection. So your brokenness connects you to others and helps you get into the relationship that will build you. Oftentimes, our brokenness stems from environments or ecologies that do not serve you, that do not respect you, and that do not celebrate you, but only tolerates you. So in our brokenness, we are forced also to go out and go for for the connections that is meaningful to us. Connections or communities that will make us feel loved, accepted, that we belong, that although we are different, it's not the difference, it's not the being different that is emphasized, but it is your uniqueness that is brought out, that it's your uniqueness that is celebrated. And lastly, humility. Because as I've said, no, in the inner strength, you really cannot surrender without humility. And the beautiful thing about brokenness is that if pain or brokenness did not exist, then we would go about on our own ways. And we wouldn't even recognize that there is a higher being, that there is God. And we wouldn't even see the need for God. Because if life was perfect without troubles, we would have no need to trust Jesus, to know more about God, and to build the relationship with God. Because we have this mentality that if if everything works out and there's no pain, then we can do everything on our own. But in your brokenness, you see and you gain that knowledge that you cannot do this alone. So brokenness and humility causes me to hear from God more clearly. When I am filled with pride and haughtiness, I cannot hear a thing. So how many of us oftentimes just go about our own way and really don't get to stop and really listen? When things are going in our way, how I really want to ask you, when things are going your way, when things are going fine, do you remember God? Or do you just remember God when you are in a state of pain, when things are not going in your way? And how can you see brokenness as a grace? So I will be sharing with you simple steps. It may look simple, but really it's a process, it's a journey. So how can you see brokenness as grace? First is ask yourself, what is your purpose or your mission in life? In short, find your purpose. You have often heard that there is a reason for your brokenness. Yes, there is. Honestly, yes, there is. But there are means of understanding your brokenness, where it is coming from, why it is there, what it is teaching you. But ultimately, understanding your purpose makes you understand why your brokenness is necessary. It may not be now, it may not make sense now, but as you trust the process and as you discover your purpose, your mission in life, it will just suddenly, I mean, like puzzle pieces, it will just suddenly connect and give you a bigger picture. So, again, understanding your purpose makes you understand why your brokenness is necessary. Next is, what is one thing in your brokenness that you need to fully embrace? Oftentimes, our brokenness, if you really look into it, are patterns. There are cycles. And there is a thing, or it is teaching us something. And oftentimes, what it is teaching us is painful. I mean, it's really painful to look at this. But there's really no way to to fully get out of that cycle unless you embrace the brokenness rather than battling it. So we lean into it and allow it to touch us. So you lean into the brokenness, embrace it, and ask yourself, what is it teaching you? Next is, how can you surrender to that one thing? The one thing that it teaches you, how can you now surrender to that and let go? So it's time to break away from old cycles. You cannot go on towards a new cycle if you do not break from it. Oftentimes you keep on complaining, why do this always happen to me? The question is, what have you done to break away from those cycles that keeps on repeating in your life? Next is trust the process. Like anything else, healing, your brokenness is a process. The answer for your brokenness is a process. The journey to healing is a process. In your journey of developing a relationship with God and learning to surrender, to be humble in His presence, it's a process. It's not a one-time thing. So just trust the process. Trust yourself, trust God, trust the process. And the next thing, I mean, the brokenness, the pain, and everything, it's really hard to journey alone. So I invite you to really hire a coach. So your coach will partner with you to support you, encourage, and be your accountable partner. Coaches help you break through self-limiting beliefs and your mental scripts. Coaches also helps you take control and responsibility of your own life. And coaches help you in discovering your own purpose by allowing you to have the freedom to explore your own path. And coaches help you to become empowered to really be accountable for your own results in life. And this is something that I really wanted to share because I wouldn't really see the grace in my brokenness if I hadn't um, encountered life coaching and worked with master coaching. So I mean, you can go through the process of no until trust the process, but then again, it's always a question of why do you have to journey alone when help is always available. And Um, you can reach your destination faster if you have someone journeying with you. And a life coach is that someone, or even if not a life coach, find a community that can support you, that celebrates with you. So in the process of being gracefully broken, you have to see this. It's I really want to focus on this, that God's rejection is your protection. Oftentimes, inaaway natin, no? We blame God, we blame other people and everything. We become so bitter because of the pain. But I really just want to live this message that God's rejection is your protection. That's why you have been broken with grace. That's why you're broken, because God has to intervene, because He has to protect you. So what feels like rejection is often God's protection when you're heading in the wrong direction. And when God gives you a no, give Him a thank you, because He was protecting you from less than His best. Oftentimes, we might not be in the wrong direction, but we are settling for something less than what we deserve, and less than what He really wants to give us, less than what He wants us to experience in life, the fullness of life. And yes, you deserve it, but God is telling you, you deserve it, yes, but you deserve more, because you are my child. You deserve more, and I want to give you the best. Remember that not all storms come to disrupt your life. Some comes to clear your path. In the process of brokenness, you find relationships that will not serve you. You find mindsets that no longer serves you and pulls you back from being the best version of you. And this brokenness is not meant to really disrupt you. But this brokenness, the brokenness, the pain, is meant to strip you off of what no longer serves you, of what do not help you. It can be stripping off limited beliefs. This can be stripping off identity that doesn't belong to you. Identity that your parents has brought to you, that your friends told you, that your workmates told you, even I mean, just other people have put into you. So the process of being broken eventually makes you, alam mo yung pag-eggshell, eggshell yung naisip ko. In the eggshell, the shell has to be broken for the chick to come out. It's the same process. And in your brokenness, it is necessary, because it is the only way for light to be able to shed in, to be able to go penetrate, go into the cracks, and shed light into the darkness that you have in your life. So your brokenness is not something to be hidden. Humility brings a beauty to our lives, releasing something powerful. So I invite you, when you started, despite the picture of the state of your heart, always remember that there is, and it can only get better. That in your brokenness, there is uniqueness in the experience. And as you allow the light to penetrate through your brokenness, if you can see this picture, it's a glass and it has beautiful colors. Because in your brokenness, you are made whole. In your brokenness, you see the beauty in you. In your brokenness, you allow the light to penetrate, and eventually you allow your heart to shine. The place where you feel abandoned by everyone is really where God has placed you to be met by someone, which is Him, God, your Creator. And like I told you the story of the Good Shepherd, He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. So you have to remember that we are all broken. We are all broken in some way or another way. But I encourage you, not do not think of this. as your liability or your biggest liability, but think of it as the reality that the beauty, that there is beauty in brokenness. Our brokenness has a purpose, and it is by grace that you have been broken. So, thank you for joining me. And whenever you are ready, I invite you to connect with me to start your journey to a relationship with yourself and to eventually see the goodness and the grace in your brokenness. And I also invite you to go ahead and explore this program, Emotional Rehab of Master Coach A, where it is a self-paced program to heal from emotional pain, trauma, breakups, and betrayals. And yes, I can see the comments. Thank you for engaging. And I invite you to visit me at the Cup Coffee Republic. Again, it's located at Pioneer Street, corner Brixton Street, Capitolio, Pasig City. And I encourage you again to connect with a certified life coach and connect with Coach Rizal through 0917 Sorry, it's a typo error. 586 1661. So I am here in the Cup Coffee Republic Mondays to Saturdays. So visit me. Let's have a talk. Let's have coffee and let's have a warm conversation that speaks to your soul wherever you are, whatever state you are in. And always remember, I really like this, the story. Your story matters. And if you want a happy ending, that depends, of course, on where you stop your story. So I encourage you to visit us, visit me, let's talk, share your story, because your story doesn't end here. Your story, the story just starts with the brokenness towards a very beautiful life that God has in store for you. So on behalf and in behalf of Decaf Coffee Republic and Coach A Coaching Club, we want to thank you all for being part of this journey. So you can watch the replay of all episodes from season 1 to season 2 inside FB page of Decaf Coffee Republic and Life Coach Philippines. So you can also check on Coach A I-Connect YouTube channel for HD copy. So tomorrow is another episode, and tomorrow it's going to be episode 28, where the topic is 7 powerful reasons why you should express yourself by Coach Trisha Carreño. So be sure to join us back at 12 noon. And again, love bam boom, love bam boom, love bam boom. Thank you. Bye bye.